this situation comes up quite a lot, or you're the red boat and you've just missed the mark, whether it's because of a shift or you just calculated your ley line wrong. Wind's coming from up there, that's the windward mark. So it's tempting to jibe around and come in, but if you jibe around, you don't end up here because these boats are still sailing forwards. So if you jibe, you tend to lose a lot of boats. You sail further downwind than you think. When you bear away, you accelerate. And then if you have trouble jibing, you go even further downwind. But even if you do a very nice jibe with a lot of heel, you still usually lose quite a few boats. So what's better to do than jibing most of the time is to bear off, tack, and bear off again. You may still need to duck the blue boat here, but at least if sailing through is an option, you may make a gain there. So that's sort of the simple example. The other thing I wanted to talk about is if someone's pinning you left, or maybe this person's barely making their ley line. This person's planning on shooting the mark. There's no way you're going to be able to make it. So again, it's tempting to jibe, but then you end up way down here as you accelerate when you bear off. And even if you do a nice circle, you lose quite a bit. So one of the things you can do, as we talked about before, is bear off, tack, and duck. Then any of the boats behind blue you might not hit. But the other thing, you often have boats coming down here too, coming downwind. So if you're bearing off into them, that can be a bit tricky depending if they have room to avoid you. You are close-hauled and starboard tack, but these boats may be in a clump and they may not. You may not give them room to keep clear if you alter course towards them. So it can get complicated over here. So another thing to think about is that you have the option of just letting out your sail and then pulling it back in. So if you let your sail out and pull it back in, you break that overlap, and then you pull it back in. That allows you to accelerate, and you go for the tack. Green goes and does their thing. Yellow's luffing at the mark. Blue's going to probably have to luff there as well. Then you can get a generous ley line, and while these guys are sort of, hey, you hit the mark, no I didn't, you might be able to catch them. Maybe not. It's a bad situation. Try not to get into that situation, but it's a common situation to get into. So don't forget that you don't have to jibe. You can bear off, tack, and bear off, or you can let your sail out, break the overlap, pull your sail back in, tack, and reset there.